Yeah, I've seen that.
Everybody, Jake? Yeah. Joe, are you ready? Think you ready? Yeah. Did you get an outrage letter?
Everybody got one.
I didn't see one.
You didn't see one in your folder?
Not bad.
I'll just stay around it. Let's wait.
I got one.
What is it?
I don't need it.
Yeah.
It's a letter.
I didn't use one
Vote
either,
for
but you're
somebody,
right.
don't vote for somebody, or somebody's crazy, it's nasty. We get this all the time. There's a lady, she writes it very long, very long. Oh, no, she doesn't, she lives in Shrewsbury, she owns a property. And every time she sends us to the sewer, double-sided, 18 pages, like, last one started out, it was addressed to Jill White, and it was like, we wanna know why it's going back to, debate, low-grade street drugs. Yeah, it was, John, are you ready? Yes, Tracy, ready? All right, I'm gonna call the order, Northford Borough's council meeting is October 8th, 2024, it's 6:46, let's call it. Please turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate, announce if you're using a recording device, public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per person to facilitate other business needs. We're gonna begin with a, put our vote sign up and then a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Vivian has requested, telecommunications into the meeting, so I'm looking for a motion for that. Motion. We have a second. Tracy. I will give her a call.
Take a vote.
Oh, shoot, sorry. All right, I'll mute her. All in favor, say aye. Sorry, it's gotten so automatic, I forget about it. All opposed? All right, so moved. Sorry, I called you before I let people vote. All right, Sonia, so what did you roll, then?
Vivian Lunchbacher.
She said here, I think, I don't have one speaker. There you go. No, we can hear you. I didn't, when I unmuted you, I didn't hit the speaker button, so.
MJ and Joel Collier.
Here.
Terry Duncan.
Here.
Seth Eichman.
Here.
Tracy Mouse. Here. Vicky Rice.
Here.
Alan Thomas.
Here.
Mayor Brunk. Here. Manager Bolton. Sonia. Here. Solicitor Tilly.
Here.
And engineer is excused.
All right, thank you. We had an executive session here tonight at 6:45 roughly, to discuss personnel issues. I will open the floor to public comment on agenda items only, please. All right, seeing none. Hearing none, I will move forward to the approval of minutes. We have August 13th and September 10th. So please review, make sure you're reviewing August 13th first, and then we'll do the September meeting. Any corrections, comments, questions, concerns on August? Okay. Any, we should probably take separate votes to approve those, right? Doesn't matter.
You can vote on both.
Right, well then.
So roll calls, when you have roll call in here, Sonia, is that for those that were here, or is that just how you call
She usually marks who's absent.
them? Okay, because I wasn't marked absent. Oh,
It's for excuse.
I'm
It says
sorry.
excuse, yeah.
pardon, my mistake.
I think,
Oh, you were talking about September?
yeah.
Yes,
If somebody tells us they're not coming, it's excused.
Okay.
If they don't, then we just put it absent.
thank you.
Anything, in September, you wanna comment, question, concern, or change? Nope. Any, motion to move? Are we gonna do them separate or? Yeah, we can do them together. I'm going to approve both. Second from Vicky. Vivian, how do you want to do that? We'll just make a special note, recuse the August, and then we'll.
She abstained.
Abstain, yeah, abstain from the August, but perhaps.
I mean, she can still vote on it. She's just saying that she doesn't have an issue with the minutes. Even if she wasn't here, if she refuses, she can still vote on it.
Yeah.
Or she can abstain, but she'd have to put it in writing. So I'd say just go ahead and
We
vote.
did take a vote. All right, we have a motion by Donnie, second by Vicky. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, so moved. Very good. Staff reports.
Thank you. We received resignation of our zoning officer. We spoke a little bit about our options yesterday, budget meeting. So the motion will be to accept the resignation and either use third party going forward, the PMCA, or authorize me to advertise the position. If I advertise the position, my recommendation is 30 hours a week, which is 5 less than it was previously, at the rate that's in the draft budget, which is only like a quarter higher, I think, than the rate was previously. And then I also backed out the vacation time and stuff for that. So accept motion to accept resignation and advertise, or motion to accept resignation and go third party.
And if we went third party, would we do, I guess we could do a service contract for the rest of this year and next.
We've already got the contract. It's already in there. We just didn't have them doing those services.
Okay.
So they that's why I could transition to them right away, because it's already in there. And they will continue to help us, but as we discussed yesterday, it's going to be probably $45, $50 an hour. And I really do feel that we're busy enough here. We should have somebody here every day.
Yeah.
Can we not use them temporarily and just apply and figure out?
So yeah, that's
what we're doing.
yeah. If you want to move to hire a replacement, an in-house replacement, they would cover us until we have that candidate hired.
How's the board feel about the wages?
So you put it on.
What would we be getting an hour?
Well, you'll vote on that once we find a candidate. But I'm not planning to change the rate much. Like I said, I backed off the hours by 5, and that person wouldn't have time off benefits the first year. So I did back all that out of the budget already.
Did
I said it was a quarter more than the current rate.
So what did that help you?
We're not talking about that right now.
I think the line
We're
item.
not setting a rate for the position now.
Yeah.
We're accepting the resignation and telling me whether to advertise or go third party.
You know, you still have to know what, if you're gonna advertise, you have to know what you're advertising away.
And I said that I would use the current rates that we had.
Exactly, what you just said, it's in the budget for a higher rate.
By a quarter.
Yeah, it's a higher rate, but it'll be less hours per week. So my understanding, the line item number doesn't change very much.
$26.50 as opposed to $26.25. It's a quarter difference. That's the recommendation. That does not mean I have to hire somebody at that rate. I could hire somebody at lower than that rate. Maybe we get somebody that's really good that comes in above that rate. But right now, we have to accept the resignation and decide what we're going to do. Thank you.
Anybody else? No. Any motions on that?
Motion to accept the resignation
But Dave had that.
And hire or third party.
and hire.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a second on
What was Jerry's motion?
that? To accept the resignation and to hire an in-house rep.
Tracy, was that you?
It will.
The second.
Any other discussion before we get to vote on that? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you. We discussed the two grants that we received, CDBG, stormwater projects at 9th and 60. It is $385,000 between the two, and it is ready to go. All I need is a motion and a second to accept the grant agreement.
And this is for, like we discussed last night, this is for stormwater installment on George and 9th, and George and 60.
And that's 100% grant, right?
$385,000, we pay the engineer.
I have a question. If we don't use some of that money, do we have to give it back? Do we-
Yeah, if there's anything left over from the 385, we give it back. If it goes over that, we pay. Yes.
I'm going to accept. Motion to Tony. I'm going to second. We have a second from Tracy. Any other deliberation, or are we ready to vote? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved.
We've been messing around with this fence down at the basketball court for a while. Quotes were coming in at $24,000. We reduced the scope of the project to get quotes again. Those quotes came in still around $18,000. So I didn't bring it to you. What I did was I reached out to York Excavating, who did the park for us. I contacted them through YSM, who is our engineer, landscape engineer. And so York Excavation came back with a quote, and this is for along the trail side, and then across the back side down towards the rail trail in front of the retention pond, and then another one just short of 90 again, so that if they shoot baskets, the ball doesn't go in the retention pond or it doesn't go down the trail. But the rest of it will be open, so that it's not a caged in situation. So that total came to $14,200. That is absolutely the best price I could find
Is
after.
there any way our public wants to do that?
No, No, we don't want that liability. Because if we put up a big fence and somebody gets on it and falls over, it's workmanship issues. I don't want that liability. And I did talk to Tom about doing it, and he said he wasn't comfortable putting in that size of a fence.
Was it 6 foot all around or 8 foot?
So, it says filling in swale behind basketball court. That's that little swale along the, because there's no sense for that. And it's gonna create instability if they put a fence up in that ground.
Oh, so it's gonna fill in that.
Yeah, that was never even supposed to be there.
Yeah,
in the
no.
original plan.
I have a
And-
question about
Hold on, just let me finish.
So they're gonna fill that in, seed and stabilize, the stabilized concrete bench that's there. Caulk that in, and then it says furnish, 150 foot by 72 inch. So 6 foot?
6 foot, right?
6 foot, not an 8 foot. Black, coated 8-gauge 2-inch chain link fence, and then all the posts and connectors. And it is not a prevailing wage project.
And is it, you might have already said, is it on the basketball court side of the walk path or on the, in between the walk path and the, street, the ridge one?
Here's basketball court.
Yep.
Okay. Here's the edge, here's the rail trail, or our trail.
Our trail,
Okay, and then here's the retention pond over here. It would go right here, down here, and over this way a little bit. So it would go across the long side, down this way and over here, to keep the ball from going into the retention pond or down the hill. And that's from input that I received from the kids when I went down and talked to them.
Go ahead, Vivian.
Okay, my question is this. Right after that was done, and I'm like, oh, one day for a walk around there, and I'm going there. And I thought to myself, why would you have a retention pond within a few feet of the basketball court? It made no sense to me because the kid's gonna break the leg. Well, you got that cement thing down at the other end that sets up, jumps up, I don't know how far.
Yeah, I
It
think,
looks like a dangerous situation.
I think the thought is, was- yeah, go ahead. Yep.
My whole question is this, who designed that? Because it doesn't look like it would be code to me.
YSM, the engineer.
And it had to pass state codes.
Right.
Because we received funding for that.
And the reason it's there is because it is next, it's in between two impervious surfaces. The basketball court's impervious, so it's blacktop, the water has to run off somewhere, so they put it in between the basketball court and the trail, and then that other piece of concrete that you're referring to. Picnic table is.
But that's when we went back to review it, because, that was one of my questions. I'm like, why are we putting this skinny retention in between here and the trail? And they were like, well, I don't know. And then one of the architects said, well, we really don't need that there. I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense because, the ground is already shifting, and that's why the court is starting to fall in a little bit there. So basically, it's two birds with one stone. We'll shore it up to get the fence in, and then that'll keep the basketball court from falling into that little retention.
So my question is this, it obviously wasn't done correctly.
No, it's correct, it's just a matter of function. And after it was put in, we realized that the function really doesn't work.
In my opinion, it was over-engineered.
That's good.
So exactly, it was over-engineered, if you go back on the engineer that did it. They shut them short for stuff like that.
Well, they are fixing the court part of it for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fixing the parts of the court that got messed up. But while they're here, they said they could do this project for us also. And that the way they're gonna design that's gonna help keeping the court from falling in. Because this is the second time the court fell.
Right, yeah, so YSM designed it and Work Excavating is the one who built it. And so YSM is paying Work Excavating to fix it, and we figured we'd get a quote from them as well, fence and wall there. And that's how we got the lowest quote. By,
Well, I understand
Yeah.
all that, I'm just telling you, you're looking at it as a lay person. I don't see how it can, I just don't,
On this
I'm not
quote,
an engineer, I'm not an engineer.
on this,
Common sense goes a long way. So I'm waiting to be addressed, that's the first thing I thought of.
on this quote, they also gave us a contribution credit of $1,750. A contribution credit because they're not gonna have mobilization for the job because they're already coming out to fix the court. So we save a little money for mobilization. So that's usually what that is.
Is there gonna be something put down there where that cement thing is jutted up like that, or are we just gonna coat it, goes into that end, or is that gonna be cement covered? Well, I don't see how you can cover that.
you mean the storm drain?
Yeah.
No, that has to stay open like that. I was told we cannot fence that in.
Right.
It has to be
Now,
open.
is that great? Is the great is going up there? Is it joints, that like cemented together?
That's what I'm gonna understand. I can't lift it.
It's heavy, but it can be removed. It has to. You have
It has to be
remove it so you can service
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
That's-
But it's gonna take a lot of kids to pick it up.
Well, we have the camera working now.
Yes.
We do.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm looking for a motion to accept the quote.
This is just for the fence around the basketball court, right? This has nothing to do with the damage that was done or just.
They're gonna,
It's separate.
oh, yeah, not from the Kinsey stuff. No, I did have York Excavating come out and look at that today to give us some, perspective.
Yes.
But I'm not ready to talk about that yet. I don't have everything yet. Insurance is still working on it too.
So we don't. Yep.
So that number was 14,000.
14,200.
It's the lowest one we've got. Yeah, I think that if it's something you guys want to do, I say this is the time to pull the trigger.
I was protecting our investment.
How high is that
Just-
gonna be?
6 foot, and it's going to be the fence that is coated.
So wouldn't they go in an 8-foot and a basketball court?
We didn't want to put the 8 foot in because all we're doing is looking to stop the ball from bouncing out off the court. And we felt 6 foot was high enough. If we would have went 8 foot, that's why we were looking at closer to $18,000.
That's why I'm saying I think an 8-foot is more appropriate. I don't think a 6-foot is necessarily
But-
gonna be the answer. That basketball court is really close, and that basketball, hoop, whatever is, it's not that far over. If you hit that rate, it's gonna do right at that 6-foot fence. I don't know.
I mean,
I've been down for a while.
you're also gonna have stability issues the higher you go with it, because it's not a full cage. It's just a linear fence. So if you put an 8 foot in there, we were concerned about kids climbing up to the top of it and falling off.
Well, they're gonna do that whether it's 6 or 8 foot, right?
But due diligence.
Donnie, did you make a motion?
I was about to. Yeah, I'm going to approve. Or accept.
Second. Second from Vicky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved.
So this morning I get a phone call from Tom Marshall saying that we've got a clog at 6th and North Duke. And normally we would either call Township or Klein's to come out, flush it out, but neither one of them were available. Tom called me and said, what do I do now? Luckily, I talked to some other municipalities before and know what they have, so I gave him a couple other municipalities a call, and Spring Garden came out and helped us. It was about 4 or 5 hours till it got cleared. But if we would have had a jetter, we could have just went out and did it ourselves. And not only that, cleared it out, but then went in and cut the root that was creating the clog and catching everything that was going down through. So I'd sent the information out about a jetter to you previously because we were looking to get one anyway. And then what that'll do is that'll help us go down, clean out the pipes, and then send the camera down and look for where we need repairs once it's clean. The jetter costs $17,000. It is a used jetter. Bobby went and took a look at it. It is an intermunicipal situation, so we don't have to worry about bidding. And he said they demonstrated it for him, pulled it out and everything, showed him how to use it. It worked fine. Brand new, they cost $78,000. So it's 3/4 inch hose, 600 foot of hose, and he said the manholes are 400 or less, so it'll cover us everywhere we go. 700 gallon water tank. Water pump is 40 gallons a minute. The pump is 2,000 PSI, plenty of push power. 4 different water head attachments, a newer John Deere motor diesel, 16-foot trailer, all in one with new tires. Yep. And a pressure washer hose attachment. He said they saw it run and verified all components are working, and Bobby signed it off.
I don't know how you get all that for $17,000.
I have a question. When we have other people come out, what are we being paid per hour, roughly?
It depends how long it takes. Generally, $450 to $600.
An hour?
No, like total
Total.
per event.
Okay, and I know we've had
But that's the
3 or
emergency.
4 times already
Yeah.
in the borough, just from Duke Street. And with the root systems that are already in here, along with the age of the pipes that are there now, I think it's gonna pay us in the long run to get them.
Oh,
To be honest with you. I really will.
So what is the payback? How long? A year?
Depends how much you use it. So basically, my plan is to use it like the sweeper. We only did sweeping twice a year, but when we get it back, we're going to do it all the time. It'll be like that. We will use this all the time. We would go out, we would clear out one section, just have the guys go down one day, and just, it only takes one guy, and they can blow out a whole area.
Most municipalities have a 5 or 6 year rotating schedule of how they clean their sewer. So they'll do
Right.
a section every year for about 5 or 6 years, and they start all over again.
Right.
So it's
And that's what we want to do.
code with a piece of wood.
And we also want to camera it after that. So once it's clean, then we send the camera down, and then we can see, like, oh, there's a crack, there's a crack, there's a root. And then we know there's action items we need to do to take care of that. If there's repairs that need to be done, then we can get those repairs done. And this is what I talked about 2 years ago. When
Work on the side of preventing problems rather than playing catch up.
Yeah, right now, all we're doing is dealing with it with emergencies. If we have the equipment, we can use it in conjunction with everything else. And of course, that looks really good for the sewer as well, and all that other stuff, because we got the power washer, we can use that as well.
There's roughly $3,000 already this year that we put out getting them spots open. And you're talking $3,000 over even a 5-year plan.
Well, and I think Klein is probably, they've been the most reliable because the other municipalities haven't been staffed. They've had problems with Klein's coming from Klein's.
Right.
Marissa, we're on the clock as soon as we make the phone call.
Other than that one event down on Duke Street, what's the possibility of you're blowing through a clog, it backs up and goes into people's homes? Because it has happened.
If it's done correctly, rare than not. If they're just going in there, what we can do at this point is, first of all, they sent the camera down. They sent the camera down to take a look at it and said, okay, this is the problem. Yeah, we need to jet this. So, yeah, if they go down and full blow and, it starts backing up and they don't stop, yeah, that could be an issue. But Bobby's been really good about it.
Are we liable for that if that were to happen to the homeowner?
Yes. Yes.
You have insurance for that.
But yes, our insurance is covered. Municipal insurance.
Is Bobby trained on using the jetter?
That's what they did. They trained him on it while he was there that day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They're gonna give up, what they're willing to do is they're willing to give everybody training. Like, that's something I always do. Like, I always say, if we buy this from you, you gotta give us a day of training.
Also, what municipality?
I can't tell you
How
offhand.
that, the jetter comes?
I think this is a municipal service. So it's like a CoStar company that had used one. Municipal, I wanna say municipal services. But
Any way you could go out with one of the other municipalities, like Kansas, you done too? So I don't think going after somebody one time.
well, what we can do, Vivian, is we can set up a training session through LTAP. Because we made pretty good friends with them. We can have somebody come in and actually do training. It'll be free training.
They'll actually go out and work with the actual equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem, Manchester Township has their sewer, they have trucks dedicated to these jetters. Yeah, so it's a different piece of equipment. I mean, it's similar, but it's not quite the same.
So this,
That's what I'm saying. Each one's going
Yeah, exactly.
to go out with them.
yeah, we could even ask one of the township operators to come over.
Is that the jetter?
Yeah, so that's the hose, right? And the trailer. And then this doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but I'll show it to you.
It's greater than idea as it is probably because it could also cause damage. So,
We hit 2 cars snowplowing last year. I mean, it's cost of business. But it's better than waiting. Yes, trust me, our guys get plenty of training.
Well, the thing is, they gotta also consider, financially, we've spent roughly $3,000 so far this year. And over a 5-year period, that's 15,000, but each year that increases, how much it costs to have somebody come out.
So
So you're looking at additional costs.
So I agree with you there, but the additional is, it's not just those emergency situations, it'll be maintenance.
Right.
So not only will we get that done, but we have it for other projects as well.
And one day our code could bring, and we could be driving to a municipality that doesn't have room.
Exactly.
I mean, we could end up being the savior for somebody else and charging them, so.
Because there are times I've called Westman or Manchester, and they just said, sorry, we can't help you.
So I would recommend a motion to authorize the purchase.
Any motions from council, any other further deliberation?
This piece of equipment has been gone over thoroughly, that is in A1 working condition.
Yes, I completely trust Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby was the one that diagnosed the problems with our sweeper. Bobby diagnosed the parts that they didn't do when we got the sweeper back. He knows his equipment. He's good.
What year is it?
I don't know.
We were told the street sweeper was in A1 shape.
No, we weren't.
No, that was a bid.
No, we knew that was gonna take work.
We knew it was decent.
Is that out yet? Is that running yet? Is the street sweeper running yet?
Not yet. But I talked to the vice president of the company the other day, and he assures me that their company messed up, and they were already over at Public Works this week to take a look at it. And they will absolutely make sure it's 100%.
So the street sweeper's going, right?
No,
They basically didn't fix it correctly.
they didn't do it
They're
right.
taking it back, and they promised us they will make it right.
you guys gonna do?
Yeah, $78,000.
Yeah. Brand new, it's more than 78.
No, we're talking 78.
We'll talk about the jet.
We're talking about the Jetta.
Oh.
We're not talking about the street sweeper at this point. Yeah, it's roughly 78,000 for a new Jetta. Whereas this is 14 too, and like any time, fire repair.
17.
I'm sorry, 17,000. My apologies.
I know that you said we have like 4 on Duke Street. How many what we have in so far this year in North Germany? You guys give an idea.
It's 2, 3. I know.
5.
$3,000, probably 4 or 5 times.
I want to say we had, like Nancy said, 4 on Duke, and then we had one in kind of a no man's land location behind Charlie's and CJ out there.
So just to recap, the general consensus is everybody seems to feel it's a necessary piece of gear for prevention and being proactive in this particular.
That's my.
If we're going to continue to maintain and repair our own sewers, absolutely.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the bid and purchase the unit.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. One of the RFPs we have not done since I've been here is for computer and online security. Currently, we have Tracesta. Sonia has headed up getting some information on other companies that give those services. She's compiled a list of about, 6 or 7 different companies in the area that provide those same services. So I think it would behoove us to do an RFP and see if we can save some money somewhere, or if we're happy with where we're at. So that doesn't mean we have to leave Tracesta, but I think we should definitely look at it.
I think it's best practice every 2 years, look at all their services.
The names of the companies I received are from the York County Finance Committee I attend every month. I got them from the municipalities that use them.
Yeah, just put it on an RFP, and hopefully the 6 or 7 that we contact will give proposals.
Basically, what we'll do is we will use our list of services from Tracesta, our agreement. We'll take prices out so that they know what we're looking for, and then they'll put prices on that.
Vivian made a motion to accept, right? Accept, I assume.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other deliberation on this, or we, ready to go? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved. Very good.
Thank you. I don't want to take a lot of time on this, but I did hear you. I did look at the budget again after last night. I did make some changes. Okay, so you have the budget in front of you. The new one is the one that looks like this. So the revenues are exactly the same. I didn't change the revenues. Under the expenses, one of the major ones was the $50,000 line for the employee benefits. So if you turn to page 5 of 5, are you with us, Vivian? So on page 5 of 5, employer paid benefits, if you look at 481,400, benefits time off, that was the line that I had 50,000. I lumped them all together. So what I did was I went back through, recalculated. Those calculations are on the next to the last page of the packet. So that's just there for your reference. I'm not going to go over that. It's a very complex spreadsheet. But Those numbers jive with this. So what I did was I took that one line item and split it into 3 different line items. So you see the sick pay. Now, sick pay, I went back to the employee manual. Only full-time employees are eligible for 3 sick days a year. So that is our 3 guys in public works. That's it. Vacation, I went in and looked at their service time and matched it up with how much time they got. Most of them got a week because they've been here less than 2 years. I think Sonia's at the 3-week mark. And and Dan McLean is at 2 weeks. Now their weeks are based on their hours, their average hours, their assigned hours. So, you know, Dan works 3 days a week, 24 hours. So he gets 48 hours for 2 weeks. That's how it works. Sonia works 24 hours a week on her schedule. She gets 3 weeks, so she gets 72 hours. So that's how that breaks down. And then the third line is the holiday pay. So that's the 14 holidays that we have when the office is closed. All employees are eligible for that after their prelim period. And everybody's through that prelim period. So that's on there. I did decrease the benefit stipend to only include the 1 employee that currently gets it. I did not include anybody else. So with those 4 line items, and the workers' comp's the same, that brought it down about $20,000 on that. Couple places here and there, I bumped it up to round off some numbers. Nothing major. If you look at the bottom, we now have a net surplus for next year, $13,537, as opposed to 900 something that we had yesterday. So revenues and liquid fuels I didn't change. The sewer budget I didn't change. And you've got the breakdown for the individual employee pay. And projected payroll expenses for next year, I'm going to write that down for you. So total $389,950, $178 total compensation. That's hourly wages, time off, everything. Budget at $1.4 million gives us a 27.8% payroll, which is about half of what most boroughs use.
What was that number, 389?
389,950, 178. If they vote to advertise, I can give you a copy. So all I'm asking you to is a motion to advertise, give it the 30-day review, we'll post it on the website, we'll have copies in the office, we'll provide copies for people that ask. They can look it over. Come back next month. If you have any, like I said, if you have any suggestions, send them to me ahead of time so I can be prepared, look at it, and have the document ready for it, like I did today.
Anybody have any deliberation or?
Yeah, the stipends, you said yesterday there was 2 people getting it?
Only one. Only one currently.
So there was never 2?
Sir?
There was never 2 people?
No, that was my mistake. I thought we had 2 people, but we don't. We only have 1 person on. Mostly everybody else gets.
You still have housing registration of 50,000, that should be 78 compared.
So if you remember, Vivian, I said I was lowballing revenue.
Yeah, but
Because you said you want nice big surplus at the end of the year to add to our capital fund. So anything above 50,000 will end up being surplus for us. As long as the rest of the budget line.
It's just a conservative approach.
It's just conservative, low ball revenue, high ball expense.
You just voting to
Advertise.
advertise.
Just to advertise for review.
And when you gonna vote on it?
So it would come back next month.
I make the motion that we wait to advertise until next month.
Yep.
Take this month to review what you have given us today.
So that's what that's,
Now, hold on, let me finish. We can bring this back to the next meeting. If we have any corrections, we can give it to you then, to correct it and, advertise.
then you're gonna have a dead month. And in December, we have to pass the tax resolution. I have to make sure the budget's in place before we do that.
Well, that should be well easily handled.
This is normal process. Every other municipality in the world is advertising their budgets.
Right, well, we've advertised ours in November.
Well, she made a motion, so you need to act.
But then,
Well, and what I would just say to the rest of the council, this lets us put the budget in the public's hands and let them do it.
Instead of waiting
until November, and so we can discuss it further. And then we have December as our cushion if we have to. If you don't advertise now, you could be in a situation where having more than one meeting in December to continue to talk
Right,
about
which
budget.
is what we, we have to have a 10-minute meeting for the budget. I mean, it's gonna be, we have a board members and that's our job.
Well, she has a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? And it's a motion to postpone advertisement, the vote to advertise until November. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Roll call, please.
roll call.
And just to recap, this is a yes vote means we postpone the vote to advertise until November.
And no means we take another vote.
Seth Whitman,
No.
Joel Collier. Vivian Almsbacher,
Yes.
Donnie Thomas,
No.
Tracy Nass. No. Vicky Rice,
Yes.
Jerry Duncan.
No.
Okay, it is 4-3, no,
Motion passed. Yeah.
so the motion didn't pass.
3, 4.
4 no's, 3 yeses.
Proper procedure is my motion.
Do we have another motion?
I make a motion, we put it out to advertise.
Second.
Another roll call?
Yes, please.
Seth Whitman,
Yes.
Joel Collier,
No.
Vivian Almsbacher,
No.
Donnie Thomas,
Yes.
Tracy Nass. Yes. Vicky Rice,
Yes.
Jerry Duncan.
Yes.
Okay,
Motion
it is 5-2, yes.
I think that's the right decision because we're giving the public the budget now for them to review over the next 2 or 3 months.
Just if you would clarify that this in no way indicates we're gonna accept the budget.
No, that's a whole other vote.
It's
That's
just
She
simply.
just looked at it.
Advertising.
That's why I had a copy right
Yeah. Yeah, we can postpone in November and then vote on December if you'd like. But,
Right.
You know, this gives the public the opportunity to review this and come in November and say, tear this up or I love it. You know,
Right. No, I just-
whatever it might be.
I just wanted a little clarification on that. For the record.
And, that is my report.
All right, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the solicitors report.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to start, the first item on the agenda is the developers agreement with Kitchen Company. This is for the construction, of course, of the sports complex and Wellspan project. Just to summarize, the developers agreement provides will build the project in accordance with the plan that they submitted to you. That they will construct and pay for all of the public facilities, like your sidewalks and your sewer and stormwater and that type of thing. That they will warrant the construction that they do of the public improvements, so that if there are any issues or problems with it, they will fix it at their expense. They will pay fees to the borough for the review, for the solicitor's review, all that type of thing, so that you'll be reimbursed for the costs that the borough has incurred in reviewing the plans and working with the developer on the approvals for the project. The developer will provide as-built drawings, meaning the plans will be modified to show what is actually constructed. That will enable people to find the actual location of the sewer line, the actual location of the water line, the utilities, and that type of thing, just in case they're not exactly where they're shown on the land development plan that they've submitted. They will provide signs that comply with the borough ordinances. They will indemnify, that means to pay for any liability that the borough may incur as a result of their work on this project. And they're going to provide financial security in the amount of 110% of the cost of constructing the public portion of the improvements. So the cost of the sewer lines, the stormwater system, all of those other public things, sidewalks, they come up with a cost for that. I think it's about $2.8 million. And they're going to put a bond in place of 110% of that, so that if they don't construct those public improvements, the borough will have the money so that it can contract, put out for bid, and get another contract to install those public improvements using the money that's in that bond. Let's see. They will be working with PennDOT, and if PennDOT requires the borough to be an applicant for a PennDOT permit as a result of the Route 30 interchange work or anything like that that's impacted by this development and construction, that they will do all of the work that PennDOT requires the borough as a permittee. Okay. So they'll take that work on. They will provide all the easements and rights of way that are shown on the plan. They will be responsible for the continued maintenance of any traffic control devices, pavement markings on the streets, crosswalks, things like that. That the undertakings in this agreement will pass with the ownership of the land. So if Ancient Company ever sells the project to someone else, then that someone else will undertake the same responsibilities under the developers agreement that Ancient Company is taking with you right now. So that's a brief summary. I believe you have a copy of it, but it's a brief kind of synopsis of what we put together. I drafted this agreement. There were a few changes made by, at the request of the developer's attorneys. Dr. Bolton and I reviewed those changes, so did Jason Brennan as the engineer for the borough. So it's all been thoroughly vetted, and so we believe that it's ready for your action tonight.
Any questions from all? So we are looking for a motion to accept the developer's agreement.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second. Anybody, any further deliberation? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Opposed. All right, so moved.
The second item on under my report on the agenda is the stormwater management agreement. It's actually called a post-construction stormwater management agreement. And what that means is that there's a stormwater facility that's being put in place, but it has to continue to work after the project is built. So that's why this is called the post-construction stormwater management agreement. In this agreement, it says that the stormwater management facilities will be constructed as shown on the stormwater plans that are part of the land development plan that's being submitted to you. And that the property owner, in this case the developer, but then any successor, will maintain those stormwater management facilities. So the pipes, any stormwater ponds, drains, all those types of things will be constructed and then maintained by the developer or by anyone that buys the property after the developer. This agreement gives the borough the right to go onto the property to inspect at its discretion to make sure that the stormwater facilities are functioning as they're supposed to and that they're being maintained as they're supposed to. If the borough finds that there is a problem with any of the stormwater facilities, the developer and landowner agree to make the repairs. And if they fail to do so, they authorize the borough to make the repairs and to leave the property and recover the expenses in legal action against the developer. That is the basic substance of this post-construction stormwater management agreement. It is put in place for protection of the borough and the other property owners in the borough to ensure that stormwater is handled. So we would be looking for a motion to approve the post-construction stormwater management agreement. Actually, it's called the Operation and Maintenance Agreement, Stormwater Management Best Management Practices. Very good. The official title on the document.
Any questions for Warren on that?
Do we normally get anything that shows us exactly what we're agreeing to as far as the conditions?
You have it.
I sent those out.
Is
By
he-
email.
Yeah, you have it.
Anything else for Warren? Any motions to approve? Accept.
If we don't accept it, we're not protected.
Yeah, I'm just.
Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved.
The next item on the agenda under my report is the land development plan. And the land development plan is the actual plan that shows the site plan and everything that shows everything that the developer is going to be constructing at the site. It is standard to give conditions on approval of these plans and not to approve them outright. The reason is twofold. First, you want to make sure that the developer does certain things before they can proceed with the construction. But second, it is unlawful to withhold approval if the only thing standing in the way of approval are other approvals like a PennDOT permit or something like that, that is out of control of the developer and out of the control of the borough. So because of that, the plan is ready. It does comply with the borough ordinances. So therefore, it is appropriate to bring this before you tonight. So what we're looking for is a motion to approve the land development plan as presented, subject to the following 5 conditions. First, that the developer's agreement is fully executed by the parties. Second, that stormwater O&M agreement is fully executed by the parties. Third, that public surety, you know, the financing, you know, talking about the bond, the public surety is posted in accordance with the requirements of the engineer calculating the amount. Fourth, that any fees, outstanding fees that are owed by the developer to the borough are paid. And fifth, that Manchester Township also approves the land development plan. The reason is because there's a teeny sliver of that property that's in Manchester Township, and so they can't proceed without both Manchester Township and the borough. Now, I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt. Sorry.
I just wanted to tell, the other thing I was going to add was that these conditions have been reviewed and vetted by me, by Jason Brenneman as the borough engineer, by Dr. Bolton. So we are, as well as Manchester Township and their solicitor and their engineer. So you have two municipalities all on board with what's going on here. So that's a level of oversight and review that has been conducted. This is a very significant project, so we were very careful in how we proceed with this.
Do they owe us any fees currently?
Do they have?
They're paid up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Now, once we get past all this, they'll submit their permit applications.
Yeah,
And
but
that-
the
that's not all
permits,
this.
all the fees and permits, yeah.
And there will be ongoing fees. For example, the borough will get my bill for the review of everything for the work that we did. And then the borough will pass that on to them and they will reimburse. So you're going to get reimbursed for everything.
And the same with the engineer.
Okay.
Engineering reviews get reimbursed by the developer.
Donnie, we've been doing that all along too. They've
Yeah,
been
we-
reimbursing us
Yeah.
from the very start.
I just wanted, because that was one of the conditions that was like, well.
How have we done so far?
They asked
Right.
if they still owe us anything before they
Yeah,
proceed.
They
They
did
will,
pay us.
but, yeah.
They had a balance with us at the beginning of the year and they paid that.
Okay, good. Just making sure we're good.
Yes.
With Wellspan's name and backing,
They better.
yeah, well, there's,
Sorry, one second.
Wellspan will probably make sure that, they adhere to their obligations, because the whole purpose of getting the name is to have a good image in the public.
Yeah.
So they're not going to want anything that will.
Yeah, no, okay, that's all. Keep it good. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
So the motion would be to approve the land development plan subject to the 5 conditions that I just read into the minutes.
You'll have to give me this later. I didn't get
I
it.
I got the email.
You got them, okay.
Does anyone want to make that motion that will just reiterate? Is that Tracy? I heard. Okay, I'll second it. Wait a second. Thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Opposed.
Seth, I'm not hearing
So moved.
on spot on any of these. I don't know what you
Are you there, Vivian?
Yeah.
Okay, did you vote one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes or no?
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
I'm looking at the advertising thing. Coming up.
Okay.
Get a copy of that?
Well,
No, because
Yeah.
we're gonna talk
We'll
about that.
discuss that next.
Seth, did she say if she voted yes or no? Because I didn't.
No, we'll get to it. Sonia is asking, she wants to double check what your votes were on those.
Well, there's 3.
Those 3 items by the solicitor, just so we have it right.
There were 3 yes votes and the last 3 votes.
Yeah, just not the last one, because I don't have a copy of that.
We didn't do that yet.
We didn't discuss that yet.
We're
about
talking
to do
about
it.
engineering.
Right, I understand.
Right, I just mean the first 3 items on the solicitor. Okay.
And she said yes, she said yes.
Yes, she was a yes vote on
Okay,
this. The
okay.
motion carries.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The last item on the agenda under my report is the bid pack for the Public Works Building project. And when we were preparing the bid pack, we did our research and found that this project will fall under the Separations Act. The Separations Act is a 1913 law that was passed that requires that there be separate prime contractors for the general contracting, construction. You're good, John, you go home. You're a big man.
Yeah, you're done.
Sorry, how was this that early? I was trying to get out of my last meeting.
Yep, no, we're good. So you require separate contractor for the general construction, for the heating, the ventilating, the plumbing, and the electrical. We were hoping that we could have one general contractor that would build and take charge of the public works building, and that would defer payment until we sold the existing public works building. It turns out that that's because of the Separations Act, that's not going to be a feasible method of procedure. So because of that, I'm going to ask you to please postpone until the next meeting the issue of the Public Works Building Project, so that Dr. Bolton and I and Jason Brenneman can confer and try to chart a path forward that will be consistent with the Separations Act and be fiscally responsible for the borough. At this point, I don't have any easy answers to that right now.
Any other questions for Wall on that one? Do we have a motion on that one? Then there would be a motion to postpone until.
Make a motion to postpone.
Very good, thanks.
Second.
Second from Vivian. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved. Very good.
That is everything under my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will. Right, Jason is excused, right?
Yeah, he gave it to Wall.
So we can move to Sonia.
Okay, you have your reports there in front of you. In August, the general fund spent $51,842.88. The sewer spent $4,633.14. Recreation spent $625.06. And liquid fuels spent $164.
And this is all for August.
This is all August, yes.
Any questions for Sonia on August? Okay.
Maybe September.
Please.
September, the general fund, we spent $158,283.47. If you look part way up, you'll see $133,413.46, which was most of it was our quarterly payment to Northern York County Regional. The sewer amount is $76,027.43. The majority of that money is benefiting American Water, which is our quarterly fee that we pay them for the sewer. Recreation for September, we paid $200 for the band that participated in the DEI event. And liquid fuels, we paid $120.50.
I just want to clarify about the band. I did not get the money. The check was not cut for the band, so I paid the band out of my pocket and was reimbursed by the borough.
I believe I was a band.
You were in Ireland, yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And I did sign that off.
Yeah, any further questions for Sonia in September? All right, we have a motion to accept those two financial reports. I'm going to accept. Second by Tracy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so moved. Very good. All right. And then, Sonia's looking for a motion to ratify the bills through today.
I'll make the motion.
Who we have a second? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right, so moved. Very good.
And if you look in the back of your folder, you'll see there's an invitation there. Before the mayor's report, there's an invitation to attend the elected officials and appointments day at the YCP STC, which is the York County Public Safety Center, Training Center.
It's October 14th from 9 to 12, so I made sure everybody had a copy in their file. That's the only correspondence I had.
I would highly, I can't make it that day, but I would highly recommend everybody else, if you're available to do that. It's a ton of fun. You get to put on turnout gear and do the, they have an obstacle course, like, you know, walking through a building, what it's like that they have to go through with all the gear on. When I was there was, you know, hacksaw a car and bash stuff and smash stuff and shoot the fire hose. It was a great time. I loved it. So if you can go there, it's definitely worth it. And they were giving people rides in the aerial truck that they fly over, goes 80 foot in the air. Only 2 groups got to go up there until they got a call and then they were gone. But it's a lot of fun. I had a hell of a time. All right, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, this is a long one this month. I attended September 17th, 2024 Northern Regional Commissioners Meeting. Construction on the new police station continues. It's going very well so far. There were 5 chiefs commendations given out. Detective Stephen Lebo, Detective Zachary Gray, Officer Matthew Strong, Officer Jonathan Kane, and Officer Alexander Godfrey. There were 4 cell phones that were stolen off of victims' porch shortly after being delivered to the home. In my report, I have stated what happened. Officer Strong took the theft report. The victim reported 4 cell phones were stolen off her front porch shortly after being delivered to the home. Officer Straub radioed out the suspect vehicle was a black Mercedes sedan that was not displaying a registration plate. At approximately the same time, Officer Alexandra Godfrey was conducting a follow-up interview with an unrelated theft victim in the 2100 block of Lucy Lane in Manchester Township. Officer Godfrey observed a black Mercedes sedan driving through the neighborhood and did not have the registration plate affixed to the vehicle. Officer Godfrey ran to her vehicle and conducted a traffic stop with the suspect vehicle on Rilland Lane and Willow Ridge Drive. Officer Jonathan Kane responded as the second officer to assist the investigation. There were 2 males in a Mercedes, and through interviews with the suspects and observations, Officer Godfrey had enough probable cause to seize the vehicle. Detective Zachary Gray furthered the investigation by obtaining a search warrant for the interior of the suspect vehicle. Detective Gray and Officer Godfrey executed the search warrant, then had enough evidence to charge both males with theft and receiving stolen property on the theft of the cell phones from Lakeview Drive in Jackson Township. Detective Lebo had been reviewing regional crime reports and located unidentified suspect photos of cell phone thieves operating in Loudoun County, Virginia. Detective Lebo sent the photos to Officer Godfrey, who positively identified her defendants as the suspects being pursued by the Sheriff's Department in Loudoun County, Virginia. These same 2 suspects had been linked to an organized theft ring out of the Dominican Republic. Detective Lebo is coordinating the Homeland Security and other agencies in this international crime ring investigation. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a job well done by the police department. It just goes to show you that the jobs that these guys are doing not only are for our area, but branch out all over, and actually to another country. A chief's commendation was awarded to Officer, now I'm gonna,
Navig safe.
thank you, Navig Safe. I always have a problem with him. For arresting a 23-year-old male, was pulled over for extremely tinted windows at a high rate of speed. The driver was extremely nervous at the onset of the stop. The officer detected the odor of burnt marijuana from the vehicle. The driver denied consent to search the vehicle, and the vehicle was towed to the station. A search warrant was obtained. Executing the search warrant, he discovered 99 fentanyl pills, marijuana, and a digital scale with a Glock 19 handgun underneath the passenger seat of the vehicle. The driver was a convicted felon not to possess a firearm. An arrest warrant was obtained and the driver was charged on multiple counts. A draft budget was distributed to the borough manager in August. Did you get them?
Yeah, I actually went to the budget meeting with Sonia.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it looked great.
Community picnic is in honor of Officer David Chone, will be held October 17th at Little Creek Community Park on Route 116 in Jackson Township from 5:30 to 7:30. All are welcome to come out and enjoy the evening of food and prizes. It is a nice evening. You get to go and be around the officers and get to communicate between the two. Some of the police activities in the borough for the month of August 2024 were as follows. The 14th, there was loitering and crowding in the 900 block of North Duke Street. A 17-year-old male and a 15-year-old male were arrested after they were caught attempting to break into parked cars. On the 16th, there was a motor vehicle theft in the 1000 block of North Duke Street. A 34-year-old male was charged with stealing his ex-girlfriend's 2012 Mazda 3. On the 30th, there was a baby arrest on George Street, East 10th Avenue. This one really, to me, seems sort of comical. A 23-year-old male had fled from a traffic stop when he was told he was under arrest for DUI. The male was caught when he ran into the stop sign on East 10th Avenue at North George Street. For the month of August 2024, there were 170 incidents in the borough, which is 31 less than the previous time last year. For the year as of as of August, it should say, 2024, the borough had 1,484 reported incidents, which is 12 more than the year before. School has started. Please make sure you stop for the buses and keep your eyes open for the children getting on and off the bus. Please slow down when traveling in the streets of the borough. And once again, if you see something, report it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Got some good work.
I know. That's good.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for reading.
Yes. You wanna add to that, Lieutenant?
Yeah, I did get, we got access to the cameras down at the park. We were able to get it installed on our computers at work. I did put out, some photos and stuff of the damage and the guys that stole the milling machine and tore up the parts. So hopefully next month we'll be able to talk about good results. With the David Tome thing, when David Tome is the only officer that we had die on duty as a Northern Regional Police Officer, and he died in 2008. His oldest son at the time was Elijah Tome, Eli Tome. He was 4 years old then. We have hired, or we're hiring Eli Tome, and he'll go into the police academy in January. That's awesome. So, yeah. So he has one more step to get in the police academy, and that's do some push-ups and sit-ups for the police academy to show that he's physically fit. And that's on Saturday the 12th. I'm quite confident the kid can do sit-ups and push-ups, and he'll be fine. So, but as the mayor said, that is becoming a bigger and bigger event. It operates like a national night out. Some free food, and more and more people keep showing up. It's a decent.
That's the 17th.
That's the 17th at 5:30 to 7, a Thursday out at the Little Creek Park, which is on Route 116. It's right across from Bailey. I think that's it.
Thank you. Chief.
Yeah, good evening. We had 7 calls for service last month. Spectacular. We started October out with the fire at 401 North George Street on Friday, so that's still under investigation at this time. But coming into October here, so fire prevention month, so everybody should check their smoke detectors. And we have not received another supply yet, so we're kind of on hold again with our program. Good and bad. Good because we were able to get rid of all of them, but bad because still have another resupply stock, so. That's pretty much it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Normally we would have a emergency management coordinator. That position is still open, so if anybody knows anybody, we are still looking. All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Committees and organizations, I don't have anything for any of the organizations. I mean, well, yeah, you wanna announce the, we have a date for the trunk or treat?
We're gonna do the trunk or treat on the 26th, is next to last Saturday, or the last Saturday.
Yes, that is the last Saturday.
Okay, we're gonna do a trunk and treat in 26 down at the park. And then on actual Halloween night, we are going to have we're gonna decorate the pavilion and have a reading, just like do a little scary house thing down there. On the parade. And we're gonna have a parade on the 26th.
On the 26th.
Yeah. For the trunk or treat, we'll have a parade on Friday. I'm just gonna have a thing where they get everything shoes up on Friday. And yes, that's right.
So parade to go down, then to trunk or treat, like we did.
Yes,
Okay.
they did.
What time do we have?
It's probably around 4, but I'll let you know.
Okay,
when
yeah,
Friday.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yep, if you need anything, then just let me know.
What's the date of that going to be?
October 26th is the parade.
It's,
trunk or treat.
October 26th is the trunk and treat, and then on actual Halloween night, we're gonna have a spooky house down at the park, and we're also doing a reading from a witch and giving out candy and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, so normal
Normal
trick or treating
Halloween trick or treating
is
October
5 to 7
5.
on the 31st. Sorry, I'm just trying to repeat it.
That sounds good.
If you want to participate, turn your outside light on.
Yes, very good.
If the people that want to help with trunk or treat, should they just get a hold of what, too?
We can call it
We
in
can call the
rocks.
borough office. We'll have all that stuff for rocks on Friday, so they can call the borough office.
Yeah, we're gonna do a sign up
It's not, so what?
for the parade, or they just meet at the public works for the parade.
We're gonna meet at the public works. I'll get a sign out, by the beginning of next week on that.
Yeah, they usually just meet down there for that stuff.
So we'll have that all
Trunk or treat,
taken care of.
trunk or treat, yeah, they should call the office. If you need to know.
If it rains, it's the best time to trick or treat.
Did everybody see that?
In '96, we trick or treated down in the borough here for like 10 years, and it was like, we had a trash bag full of candy. Because it rained, nobody went out, everybody was dumping all their candy on the house. It was awesome.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything for committees or organizations? I don't. All right, I don't see any old business. I don't think we have any new business we haven't covered, so we can open the floor to public comment. No? Anybody?
I do have a comment, just that, I believe the lieutenant left, I mean,
He did, yeah. Yeah.
So Nancy,
Yes.
moving forward, since we, it's gonna be a minute probably until we can find somebody to hire for zoning. So, it was kind of talked about when we were talking about the budget and what different duties people should, probably have. And Northern Regional's job was always to do like traffic, cars or whatever in the borough, and then it was given to Tom as well. So I just wanna, ask, I think, that it should be considered to possibly kind of give it back to Northern Regional. I know that they were already requested, but, it's already in our charter, right, agreement, whatever you want to call it, so. Anyway, and I do see them around here quite frequently again, and I'm appreciative of that, by the way, as well.
did contact Anderson and
Thank you.
he's aware of it, but if you want to reiterate.
I'll probably bring it up once the meeting.
Yeah, but I did
Yeah,
send an
thank you,
email.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do
no,
have a
sorry.
question.
Yeah,
So last night when I was here, there was $50,000 for, benefits. And tonight you were able to reduce that $23,000. So did people lose their vacation time, or like, how were you able to take $23,000 out of the budget? And where did you put it?
So that was an estimate, I didn't put it anywhere, I just took it out. So that's what created the reduction, and that's why we had a larger, structural surplus.
So you're showing a reduction in expenses.
I'm showing a reduction in expenses of about $12,000. Well, more than that, 12.5, because it was 900, I think, last night.
So why did you overestimate it by $23,000?
So what you gotta remember is that I pulled my numbers out of there last year, but as we discussed last night, I'm on salary. So instead of making her go back and forth with that and matching my numbers up with my payroll at Abbottstown, we just took those numbers out. So now if you look at compensation, on the payroll chart, you'll see my compensation, total compensation 75, comp minus benefits is 75. So mine's the same, whereas everybody else's, theirs got pulled out of there into those individual. So my time is listed under salary, not under time off benefits. It's the same.
Last year you were budgeted for $68,000.
Yeah, my salary.
75.
My salary was 75. It's the same as it is this year. It's the same agreement. So last year I pulled that out and put it down in, and this year I didn't. And like I said, I told council I was tightening the numbers up, and that's what I did.
So you had taken 68,000.
So at what time last year did you sign an agreement for $75,000?
That was your benefits and your salary.
It doesn't matter, because I have video of Gary having an argument with him, and his salary was capped at 65. So how did he get an extra 10 grand last year?
So the first year I was hired in 22. In 22 I was hired at 55. In 23 you gave me 65, and then in 24, covering 24 and 25, you gave me 75 instead of 90, because we talked about 90. We talked about 90.
Yeah, no,
But then I said we were going to get more police units, and I said take it out of my pay and give it to the police because that was more important. So that's where the 75 came from, and that is the agreement we signed, and that's.
Gary suggested
And-
65, but we passed it.
No, I have a video. You did it.
Okay.
Go get the video.
I have it. I do. I'm just asking, at what meeting did you vote to increase his salary?
It
And
was
it's
the first
not
meeting of the year
fair.
because it was the very first resolution.
January.
And it's online. All those
Yeah, yeah,
resolutions
So
are
the
online.
budget was completed, and then you did a resolution to raise his salary after the budget was completed?
No.
Well, that's what you just said, January.
We did the budget based on 90, and then I backed it off after they agreed to 75.
Moved 15 into police.
And we moved 15 into the police. Yes.
To the budget.
So that we could pick up the extra half a unit.
Okay.
All the documents are there. What do you want to see?
I'll look. I have
It's
all the
online.
documents, I have all the videos, I'll look. And it's not just you. I see it across the board, huge raises for all the employees. This borough is not even a mile square. You've got 2,000 residents, and you're spending almost 30% of your budget on salaries. And have you walked the streets lately? No, because I would not come in here, it's not safe.
So then you're gonna get,
Anything else?
What's
You can-
with your attitude?
you can email
I'm
me
just
all-
having a conversation.
I'm asking you anything else?
You see the look on your face?
I'm sorry, you don't like my
Everybody else
face, I don't know
did.
what to tell you. If you wanna email me what you have, I'll look at it. Alright,
I will never call me back.
I will leave your phone number in there, I'll call you, we've spoken on the phone before.
Resolution 2024-01 is listed online. It's appointing a manager, and that is when we bring up the sign. And I do have a copy of that agreement in my file. I also have a personal copy.
I have it. Yeah, sir, yeah, please.
Yeah, I just want to say that, but we just, I was in the township board for 6 years, 13.
Right, yeah.
19 years total, 13 or 6 on the board. We did a comp study last year for township manager. And we took like the 10 closest townships to us. Yeah. And we were drastically underpaying township manager.
Yeah.
You're right, less residents, we took everything into consideration. But
Well,
the average
Sir,
township
we have a
manager
Yeah, oh,
manager
yeah.
that doesn't even
was
come to work.
140,000.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have an
Plus
issue if he
salary.
spent 40 hours in the borough, which he doesn't, and not.
I did the same with every borough in just York County, just to get an idea.
Well, how many of them people work from home? Do you think the guy in Spring-Street Township works from home?
Yeah, I said just borough, so.
It's funny that you say that. I don't want to keep this the So I just pulled in the street coming down Beach Street, and I grew up here.
I lived here
My grandma
30
lived
years.
So it's way nicer. Like
I.
ten
beg
times
to differ.
nicer.
I
10
lived here
times
for
nicer.
30
than it
years.
was.
Well, we don't have to argue about who lived here longest.
I will make one comment, please.
Okay, go, please.
If you could please change your agenda, that the gentleman, the police officer and the fireman could get out of here and instead of sitting here listening to all the BS, I think it would benefit them. I mean, you're sitting back there with your thumbs up there, whatever.
Anybody else? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Make that motion. All right, do we have a second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry.
All opposed?
I didn't catch your name.
All right, so moved.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, inch.
You didn't grow up here.
Oh, we visited back.
And then Trudy and Sandy. How are you doing? See you.
Place is
So
good.
you can ask
Yeah.
Just so council knows, the paperwork I gave to Seth is the 2024 PSAB salary survey. That shows what everybody makes in every position in all the boroughs across the state. And it breaks it down by region, and it also breaks it down by size of borough. So if you look at that, we are all under the limit.
Yeah.
No, that was it's crazy.